Welcome to Beating a Dead Horse, the podcast where we take the things that have been talked to death and talk about them some more. Please submit topics to Twitter at HotchJoshMC, hashtag Beating a Dead Horse. The podcast is recorded live at twitch.tv/HotchJoshMC, so if you haven't caught one live, come and check it out every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And now, your hosts, Josh and Jonathan. This is Beating a Dead Horse. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beating a Dead Horse, episode 18.
Yes.
That sounds right.
I think that's right.
Episode 18, recorded live at twitch.tv/HotchJoshMC at 7 p.m.-ish Eastern Time on a Tuesday. I was going to say something. What was I going to say? I don't remember. John's back.
Yeah.
Hey guys, John. I never call you that, and that's not a thing that I would say. I don't know why I said John. That's weird.
I don't know.
I'm uncomfortable. But he's back, and welcome back.
Oh,
You were sick last week?
I was sick last week.
Sick.
I was.
He was sick last week.
Well, as long as my voice holds out this week, I'll be good.
Got that Ebola?
That's right.
Oh, man. So, yeah, he's back.
I wasn't in Texas. So.
He's back. We're going to do things. I remember what I was going to do. On the front end, I want to welcome the guys that are here. So in the chat, we have Tedinator, JBJ Blaze, Jeff6453, Sparkman, and Exian781. Welcome. Thanks for coming by. If you didn't hear your name, it's because you weren't here. And why not? I don't know. Maybe you had something better to do, but you didn't, so you should be here. So that's just how we do that sort of thing. Real quick, I feel like I should do this on the front end too. The shirt that I'm wearing is called Death by Kittens, and it's awesome. It's like a skull with kittens. It's the most adorable thing that I've ever seen in my life. It came from Loot Crate, and so if you don't have Loot Crate already, you should go to lootcrate.com/HotchJoshMC. Use the code HotchJoshMC, save yourself 10%, and get awesome cratey things. I got one right here. I'm going to reach in between your legs. That's not weird at all. What did I get in here? I got a pen thing that came from them. It's really cool. I got some tattoos. I got a book. And the coolest thing that came this month, if you're a comic person, is a Loot Crate variant cover for The Walking Dead that you can't get anywhere else. Look at that.
Very nice.
So, Loot Crate is a
Wearing
thing.
a Loot Crate shirt, no less.
Yeah, Loot Crate is a thing you should have. And there is an unboxing video on my channel that you should watch later that unboxes all the things that I got in the crate, and you can see me talk about them and be silly. Okay, well, we got a good show. Sound, again, like a talk show host. I don't know
That's
why.
right.
Got a good show for you. Coldplay is here.
That's right.
No, not really. They're in the corner.
The Roots are right behind us.
Oh, man. So, let's see here. Last week we talked about Marvel stuff. We had a guest host last week, Dreamweaver23. A lot of you guys in the chat actually came from him, so thank you for coming by again. I was worried. I didn't know if they were, but they're here. They're ours now. We own them on Tuesdays.
We own them on Tuesdays.
Unless Dream is streaming, then we probably don't. But apparently he's not. So, we talked about Marvel, Dream and I, but you didn't get to be a part of that, and that's a bummer. Because you would have enjoyed that. So,
I'm sure I would have.
So what do you got to say? What do you want to talk about? Get it off your chest.
Well, it's just a lot of. What all? I don't know what all y'all talked about last week.
We talked a little bit about Civil War because Civil War is sort of my thing.
Right.
So we talked about that. That's about what we talked about. Is
Okay,
the idea of
okay.
Civil War coming into play and.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think having Robert Downey Jr. in another movie will be fantastic. But I think it's, I don't know, it is curious. Well, I think we talked about a little bit of this at lunch, but curious having it in Captain America 3 versus, in another movie or in a separate film or...
Yeah.
I don't know, Captain America movies, I feel like are kind of like, as like the filler movie before Avengers.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, because like, Winter Soldier like filled in a ton of plot.
Mm-hmm.
And had some pretty big things that kind of shook everything, and so
Yep.
I kind of feel like they're setting up the same type of thing for Captain America 3. And I guess probably on Marvel's side is because those movies have been, or at least the second one was pretty wildly popular as far as money
Yeah.
wise.
For sure.
So obviously taking advantage of that franchise, but yeah, I think it could have the potential to be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
the whole Spider-Man thing is kind of curious. You know, like I don't know how all that's going to shake out by the end of it.
Yeah, we talked about that last week a little bit too. That there's all these talks that Spider-Man might cross over into Disney movies, not Disney movies, but the Marvel
He's
movies
in Frozen 2.
made by Disney. Frozen 2 featuring Peter Parker.
That's right.
But no, and if you don't know Civil War, Peter Parker's a huge part of that because he's working for Tony Stark, and he kind of goes along with him. So the Superhero Registration Act at first is backed by like Tony Stark and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And they kind of move it beyond there. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a possibility that could happen. And we even talked last week about it probably is going to happen that way. If they are really, in fact, doing a soft relaunch on the Spider-Man series, it makes sense to put him in a movie where he's going to get a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
And then maybe draw people to the Sony franchise.
Now, are they? I don't think they've discussed if. I mean, they're relaunching like with a different cast, or are they just trying to like reboot the series?
They said, I don't know. I don't know what soft relaunch means. If I had to guess, they're talking new cast, but I don't know.
It just seems like such a waste.
I know, because Andrew Garfield's awesome. So maybe it's not. Maybe they just want to. I honestly don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I know Sony doesn't know what they're doing.
You know, they definitely don't.
I know they don't. But, it's just such a kind of a crap situation they have going on.
Yeah, and this. So there's this list, and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it in chat. And if I remember, then I'll post it in the YouTube description.
I mean, this is like the most insane thing.
It's every superhero movie from now till like 2020.
2020.
And there are so many of them.
Most of which occurs in 2016 through 2018.
Yeah, and it's like nonstop. It's like, because like 2014, all we got left is Big Hero 6. So that's in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, that's a couple of weeks, which I'm looking forward to, actually.
Yeah. So we got Big Hero 6, and then 2015 we have 3. We have Age of Ultron, we have Ant-Man, and those are like May and July. So they're like super close together. And then even closer, in August, we have the Fantastic Four movie.
Right. Which we've seen nothing about.
Nothing, except for the picture they took after filming wrapped. Like, that's all we've seen. And I'm excited, because it's got, Kate, what's her name? Kate Mara?
Kate Mara.
Kate Mara's in it, and she's
Jamie Bell.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the one that we talked about a while back, where they have Johnny Storm and his family are all black except for Sue Storm,
right.
Who is like obviously adopted, which is awesome. It's really cool. But we haven't seen anything, nothing. Just the one picture.
Well, they had like that one like blurry photo of
of
like what the thing looked like. But I mean, that's it.
That's it. And then 2016, guys. I'm not kidding. I'm fixing to read off every movie. Deadpool, Batman vs. Superman, Captain America 3, X-Men Apocalypse, Doctor Strange, Suicide Squad, and Sinister Six.
Yeah.
All in the same year. And that's like February, March, May, 2 in May, 1 in July, 1 in August, 1 in November. Literally, there's barely a month next year that there's not a superhero movie. And honestly, 2017 looks the same way.
Even worse.
2017, in March, you got a Wolverine 3. May, an unknown Marvel movie. June, we got Wonder Woman. July, we got Fantastic Four 2, which is ridiculous because, again, we haven't seen anything about the first movie. July 28th. Oh, what, a week late? Is that a week later? It's not that much later.
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks later, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which again is ridiculous. November, we got an unknown Marvel movie. Also in November, a couple of weeks later, we have a Justice League movie. An unknown date, we have a female-led Spider-Man spinoff. We don't know what that is. Apparently, Venom Carnage is still on this list, so I don't know.
I thought they had.
I heard it was canceled, but it's on this list, so I don't know if.
Maybe.
I don't know. And then Lego Batman, an unknown date. Guys, that's so many movies.
Yeah, that's 10 movies.
Yeah, I don't. It's a lot. And then
DC really.
Yeah,
I don't know. They really doubled down.
They layered them on thick. Going farther, we got a lot of unknown movies that are just placeholders right now.
Right, that just Marvel has.
But we know we got The Flash coming out in 2018. Aquaman, which Aquaman is going to be dude, Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones
Yeah.
is like the one thing that could maybe make that palatable for me. And
Maybe.
I don't know, man, because he's scary.
He is. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me actually. Like the casting for the ones that they've released are the movies that are like 4 years away.
Yeah, for sure.
And like we know nothing about Sinister Six and some of these movies that are
Right,
like,
that are supposedly
close,
coming out sooner.
Like,
And even then, we got movies that we don't even know when they're coming out. But Thor 3, apparently they're working on an X-Force movie for Fox, which makes sense if this this next movie, Apocalypse, is going to wrap up
right,
the
that
First
kind
Class thing.
Yeah.
Gambit, which we know Channing Tatum was cast as Gambit.
Right.
Sandman, they're looking at making a movie, which Sandman's really cool if you've never read it.
Was it Joseph Gordon-Levitt? Is he still being attached to Sandman?
I don't know. Maybe so.
I know there was talk of him anyway.
Justice League Dark, an untitled standalone Superman, and an untitled Batman movie. Which means, and I'm so excited about this, even if this Batman vs. Superman sucks, I still might get a Batfleck movie that would be good.
Yeah.
Unless it sucks so bad that they fire Ben Affleck. But I don't think, I really don't think that's going to be the case.
No.
I think Ben Affleck is going to kill it.
I saw Gone Girl.
Is it good?
I'm telling you, like, and not everybody probably would feel this way about the movie, but like it's so good. Like it's probably one of the best movies I've seen in a couple of years.
I hate you. We're gonna go see it.
And the thing that's crazy about the movie is it's not like it has CG or anything else for it to like prop against. I mean, like it's just performances and dialogue, but it's fantastic.
I want to see it. We're gonna try to go this week.
Yeah, for sure.
If I can afford it. So we're gonna try to go because I gotta see it. It's killing me. Like I'm dying. It's hard because I've been wanting to see it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Is there anything else Marvel related that you want to talk about before we?
Other than the fact that Marvel is just like spitting dates out and like have no idea what any of it is.
They don't even say what movie it's gonna be. Like they're just it's gonna be a movie.
And honestly, I feel like that's the only reason the DC has come out with all their like slew of things that obviously they don't even know what they're putting there yet, other than just to have a date to compete with Marvel.
If there was a theme today, I think it would be people doing things because other people are doing them. Because in a lot of our stories for today, I think you're seeing a lot of that. Of someone makes a move and it causes everyone else in the game to make a move.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. It has the potential, I feel like, to just wear things out.
Yeah, so I did want to mention that. So Robert Downey Jr. is the one who announced pretty much that he was going to be in Captain America 3.
Right.
But then in simultaneously he was like, but superhero movies are getting old.
Well.
And I'm looking at this lineup, and look, guys, I love superhero movies, and I struggle to think of a time when there's too many. But this may be it.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have 30 movies over the course of the next 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually baffling. When I think about it a lot, it's weird because these are movies that not only would not have gotten made when I was younger, because you couldn't have, just visually, you couldn't have done them. But, it was not cool to like these things.
No.
And now it's become the norm, and it's because they make stupid amounts of money.
Yeah,
and I know some of that is fanboys who just go and watch them multiple times, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is, but you don't make $700 million in a movie
No.
unless you have a pretty wide
Well,
audience.
Guardians knocked it out of the park because they had people going to see those that never went and saw other movies, and there was a bigger woman audience for that movie than any of the other movies before.
Yep.
And I mean, it's crazy. I don't know, I'm very excited about 80% of the movies on this list, and I'll probably go see the others just because I'm supposed to because I'm a nerd.
Well, I think it's going to be curious too. I mean, having more female-driven plots is probably going to be in their favor too.
Yeah,
to
for
a certain
sure.
extent.
For sure. Yeah. I don't have to read it because you guys can see the chat on the video, but I agree, Spark. They do. And don't get me wrong, I'm super excited, but it scares me because anytime you oversaturate with something, it loses its appeal.
Yeah, I mean,
And these movies are going to have to keep one-upping each other.
yeah, I mean, there's a danger to it for sure because, well, I mean, Hollywood is kind of great at, well, you know, beating something to death.
Right.
I mean, like
True.
there are lots of sequels to movies that should never been made from them.
That's the truth.
That
Speaking of movie sequels, let's talk about Star Wars. Oh, hey, Twitter. People are retweeting all sorts of crazy thing on my Twitter. So Star Wars is a thing
Yeah,
that's getting a sequels.
sequels.
Sequels? Lots of sequels. Lots
Yeah.
and lots of sequels. Which is different, I think, from the superhero thing because there haven't been any for so long.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah.
But true to form, they are going all out because not only are we looking at the 3 movies that'll directly work with the ones that already existed, another trilogy basically.
Right.
They're talking movies in between.
Standalone films.
Standalone films. Is that Obi-Wan thing possibly a trilogy?
I've heard it's a trilogy.
So there's a possibility of an Obi-Wan trilogy. And that's crazy.
I know. Well, I mean, you've talked about. I mean, obviously, like you said, the 7, 8, 9 is happening. We already know what Gareth Edwards has been brought on for a standalone movie.
Yep.
I can't remember if there's been anybody else that's been brought on officially
Mm-mm.
yet. I know there are lots of people that are talking.
I don't think anybody.
You know, they've talked about the Obi-Wan trilogy thing. They've talked about Yoda as a possible thing. They've talked about. I'm trying to think who else. I want to say Chewbacca got thrown around there. Boba Fett. I know
Right.
his name that's been thrown.
Boba Fett.
I know, right?
Boba Fett.
It was nice. They should actually call it that.
Boba Fett
You
with a
have to
question mark.
enunciate that same way.
What are you here for? I'd like 2 tickets to
Boba
Boba Fett. Sorry.
But, you know, so yeah, I mean, and plus Disney is, you know, I mean, doing all the theme park thing that they're going to announce next year, which I have a feeling is going to be huge.
It is. It is.
And so, you know, it's definitely a lot. But like you said, I mean, like we haven't had anything for this in almost a decade.
Yeah, and
So-
and if JJ does it right, and I think that he will, if JJ does it right, it can kick it off to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Because if he
for
sets the bar real high, I think it's going to cause any other director that comes in to want to live up to that potential.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're kind of carrying the same tradition as the original trilogy of having
Yeah.
different directors for every film, which I think is cool.
It's fine. I mean,
Um,
if it worked then, it could work now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps something not be stagnant as far as kind of having different eyes on it.
Mhm.
Not that I wouldn't have been fine with JJ doing the whole thing because
Right.
I would have been, but yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I'm just like ready to see some footage
Yeah, I am
or anything.
too.
Like, I tell you all the
Anything,
time.
really.
Like I just want something. Like I just want
Just give me
music and like a
something.
title, and like I'd be happy.
For sure. I mean, I'm super excited. I think we've talked a lot about Star Wars, and we will talk a lot more about Star Wars.
Yeah, you have a whole year really before.
I don't want to get
Get
too in depth in it because we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
For sure.
But there's a possibility that the bad guy, at least for part of this movie, may in fact be Luke.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And when I first heard it, I was like, blasphemy. But the more I've thought about it, the more I've been like, because they mentioned that possibly Luke and Han have not been around each other in the 30 years since Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Which, if that's true, if that's an actual plot point, then why? Because obviously they're all really close.
Yeah.
So what happens after Return of the Jedi that causes them to not be anywhere around each other?
Yeah.
And all I can think about is what happens to Luke really when his dad dies. Like, what really happens? Because, we see him kind of, we see them burn the body and kind of move beyond that, and he sort of celebrates with the Ewoks. But even, like, thinking back on it now, like, you can tell there's a lot going on when
For
he's
sure,
even
yeah.
wandering around with the Ewoks and talking to Leia. And I thought about it at lunch. We talked about it. If the prophecy is that Anakin's going to bring balance to the Force, we always talked about it like, well, he does bring balance because then he has Luke, and Luke balances out everything.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not true. Luke doesn't balance things; he unbalances them because, in effect, you kill the two Sith that are around.
Right.
So now, who's going to be bad? And if Leia is in fact a Jedi, which she was in like the canon, and they sort of talk about it, that she has powers too. You know, that's a possibility. He could go bad,
Right.
and she has to balance. Like they're balancing out that way because I've never thought about it, but it's not balanced right now. If there's no
Yeah.
evil, so I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm kind of excited.
I think they'll do a good job with it. You know, I'm just ready for December.
Oh my gosh! So in movie news again, this thing has got to get off my Twitter. Oh man, I've got to get I have like Twitter things ready to go, and I'm like getting them ready. Do. Ignore that picture; it's still there. So real quick, we are Apple guys. We talk about Apple a lot. We're not gonna bug you with iPad updates and iPhone updates. I will say he still doesn't have his.
Still waiting.
Still waiting. It's coming. It's coming though. It's ordered though.
Yeah, it's ordered. Yeah.
So soon, maybe like 2 shows from now, you'll have it.
That's right.
And then we'll do a celebratory something. So we'll both have our iPhones.
That's right.
But speaking of Steve Jobs, there's already been one Steve Jobs movie, Jobs, and he was played by Ashton Kutcher surprisingly well.
Yeah, I don't think actually the movie's problem was Kutcher.
No, it was everything.
Which was surprising.
Yeah, no,
actually.
I think he did a good job.
You know, he had his mannerisms and his cadence and stuff down. Like,
yeah.
Pat. Like,
And I wasn't aware that Kutcher was a method actor because why would I know that?
Well, yeah.
But obviously he is because all those reports of him like living as Steve.
Yeah.
And then he even got sick because he was eating like Steve.
Right. I mean, so I think that portion of that movie was actually really well done. Everything else was not great.
It's just inaccurate. Like, I mean...
Well, it's inaccurate, and I think they tried to cover too much ground, too. I mean, I think a little, shorter time frame would have landed in that movie's favor, too, but...
Yeah.
But
I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it being the person that I am. But what I've been more excited about is when that movie got announced, they also announced that Aaron Sorkin was going to be writing a Steve Jobs movie. And Aaron Sorkin wrote The West Wing and Newsroom, Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. What was
Social Network.
Social Network. What else is that? He have a sports show? Was it Sports Night? Is that what it was?
Sports Night, yeah.
Sports Night, which I didn't watch, but I've heard if you're a sports fan, then it's like right up your... It's Aaron Sorkin, but right up your alley.
Yeah.
He writes really good stuff. He's a really good writer. And so that's the one I've been excited about.
Well, yeah, and Sony bought the rights to the biography, Steve's actual book, and so it's coming from actual source material.
Well, unfortunately,
we don't. Okay, so the weird thing about this story though is because we've come full circle on this.
Yeah.
Because if you remember a while ago, Fincher was being called on to direct it, which I was really excited about.
Yeah.
And the guy Fincher wanted is who we're fixing to talking about.
Yeah.
And so, much to Josh's chagrin.
So, the movie's happening. Aaron Sorkin's writing it. I'm super excited. Do we have a director? Do they know?
Yeah, it's crap. Who did Slumdog Millionaire?
I don't know, but the guy who did
Danny Boyle.
Okay, Danny Boyle. Wait, Danny Boyle, never mind. Danny Boyle is directing it. That's cool. But apparently they are talking about. Have they confirmed this?
I don't know that they've confirmed it.
Okay, if they haven't confirmed it, then there's still hope. Because apparently they've talked about having Christian Bale, my least favorite person in the world, play Steve Jobs. And I want this trending. I want to see tweets, but hashtag not my Steve. Christian Bale is not my Steve. No, I mean, sorry, not my Steve. I want to see it trending, guys. I don't know how many there's not enough of you to make it trend, but make it trend. Hashtag not my Steve. I'm gonna leave this up while I rant about this for a second. So, okay, honestly, if I'm completely honest, I watched American Psycho again the other day, and it reinvigorated the part of me that understands that Christian Bale is in fact a good actor.
Right.
But it also made me worry about him playing anyone that's moderately normal Which, to be fair, Steve Jobs is not super normal.
No.
So, it could be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's gonna act like him, I know. He's gonna sound like him, because he's good at that.
yeah. Well, I mean, hey, like, I'm still excited about it only because Sorkin is involved with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, like, okay, this is how I have to look at it. Like, this is the framework in which I have to look at this.
Lay it out for me.
I don't have a lot of faith in Sony, but that's neither here nor there. But okay, but Sorkin, like, I don't think I've ever seen anything that he's done that's been bad.
That's true.
Social Network, where is not completely factual on everything.
No.
Is still I thought a really fantastic movie.
Yeah.
From a movie standpoint. But this should be fairly accurate if they're working off of
The biography
material. So anyway, but the person that we were talking about before, they mentioned, Leonardo DiCaprio they were trying to get, which I don't really think looks like Steve in any particular way, but
No.
I would have been okay as far as acting ability.
Yeah, I think anybody is going to involve prosthetics at this point. Like,
Well, probably, but like, but I wasn't mad about DiCaprio. Like, I would have been okay with it.
I don't know, I'd watch that.
I'm gonna watch it regardless. I mean, like, that's
Yeah.
not really a problem. But like, but then the other thing, is after it fell through Leonardo DiCaprio, they were talking about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon being involved. And as much as I don't think they're bad actors or anything, but like, I can't even remotely see Ben Affleck as
No.
Steve Jobs. Like,
No.
and nor do I see Matt Damon as him either.
No.
And so, like,
Well,
I don't know.
Damon might could pull it off.
Maybe, but like, I don't know. I just think you're gonna have to. Somebody's gonna have to play this like really thin, awkward dude, and like.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Christian Bale can do it. I know that he can.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna say not my Steve, but I know that he can do it. I know that he's got the chops. I know that he is a method actor. So if he's got to get super skinny, he's gonna get super skinny.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, look at the dude in The Machinist. He's gross.
Yeah, he is.
And so he can do it. And honestly, even if he does, it probably will be a good movie. I'll be saying not my Steve to the end of my days, unless I watch the movie and he just like kills me. But so far, I only really like Christian Bale in one movie, and it's where he's playing Psycho.
Yeah.
And it's because he's allowed to be over the top. And I finally figured it out. He is over the top as a human being. So when he plays characters that are over the top, it works.
Yeah.
Batman, not so over the top, especially not in the Dark Knight movie. He's supposed to be very muted.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work. But Steve Jobs, pretty over the top dude.
Well, okay, so I feel similar to this as I feel to like the Exodus movie coming out.
Uh-huh.
Right. Which, like I like Ridley Scott. Right. The movie looks pretty fantastic from what I can gather. Still weird that Christian Bale's Moses.
Yeah.
And so I kind of feel like I'm probably going to approach this from the same way that, like, the movie looks good. Like, I like most of the people involved. Still going to be kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you
but,
cast that guy.
Yeah, I mean, like, except in Exodus, I feel like it's probably extra weird.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing a lot of bronzer. Like,
True.
Like, a lot.
Truth.
Like,
I
white
will
girl
say
in
this.
the South level of bronzer.
Paula Deen.
Paula Deen level of bronzer.
I will say this, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. When they said Ashton Kutcher was going to play Steve Jobs, I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
And then the first time I saw him walking around, because he even walked like the dude.
Yeah, he did.
So the very first time I saw that, I was sold. And if Ashton Kutcher can win me over, Christian Bale can win me over. I really think so. I think he's got the chops. I think he can do it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Speaking of folks that got the chops, the segues.
That's nice, yeah.
Segues are things that you can ride.
That's true.
So, Interstellar is a thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Directed by... I forgot it's Nolan.
Nolan, yeah.
Directed by Nolan. Christopher Nolan. Speaking of things that Christopher Nolan has been a part of.
True.
And it's coming out soon, it's like 2 weeks from now?
No, it's November, right?
It's first week of November.
Yeah.
and it's getting crazy good reviews. Now, it's not supposed to be getting reviews,
Right.
but people are talking about it on Twitter, people that have seen it, and it's blowing people out of the water.
Yeah. It's getting a lot of, 2001
Yeah.
kind of vibe.
A lot of them are saying that they're comparing it to 2001: A Space Odyssey,
Yeah.
but that it's more accessible.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's some pretty good company if you're a sci-fi person.
Yeah.
It's pretty good company to be in.
Yeah, when you're talking sci-fi, I mean, you really can't. I mean, 2001 was the one.
Yeah.
And to be compared to that and just kind of the staying power that because I've never seen that movie in my life, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yes.
Never seen it. But I know things about it
Right.
because they just, it's so pervasive in pop culture.
For sure.
And so, yeah, if you're comparing it to that, and I mean, think of what we can do now compared to then.
Oh, God, yeah.
And when you're talking
about
about a guy...
I mean, that movie in its time was, like, nuts, as far as, like, what was done.
Yeah, for sure.
But
when you're talking about a guy like Christopher Nolan, who can take, a movie with a weird plot that shouldn't be accessible to anyone,
yeah.
Such as Inception, and turn it into this huge success because visually it's the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what he's going to do in space. And I was thinking about today, we definitely need to go see this one in IMAX.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's what even all the little tweet reviews are saying. The best thing, go see it in IMAX. So, I mean, it definitely needs it. Apparently, most of the movie is shot for IMAX. Like,
Yeah.
not the whole
just-
thing, but...
I think all the sequences that matter, I think.
Yeah, which is something he's done before. He did it with Dark Knight, where there were
Yeah.
sequences, mostly like aerial shots that are IMAX.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that movie's... I gotta go. I gotta see it. I'm excited.
Here we go.
So, another thing that I want to talk about real quick is HBO Go has announced a standalone service.
Yes,
And it's about time, says the whole of the internet.
basically.
Here's the thing. HBO, I felt like, could have just been printing money if they would have announced like a standalone streaming service.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Because, and I can say this because they don't care right now, but like,
Yeah.
I use someone else's HBO Go password because I want to see my HBO shows. And the president said it didn't matter. Not the president, but the president of HBO
Right.
says it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do it.
Well, I mean, like, we didn't have HBO for a long time. And then I finally decided we're just going to get HBO, which was
Right.
actually the only reason I got HBO was when Game of Thrones came back for 2 and so, but quite honestly, like, the only reason I still have cable is because of HBO.
Yeah,
Pretty much, because I can get everything else online. for the
on
most part.
Hulu. Except, well, you can get this online, but you can't get it like on a streaming thing. Except for CBS,
Right.
which CBS, of course, has Big Bang Theory, which is hugely popular. Put it this way, at the height of their careers, the Friends actors on the show Friends were making $1 million an episode. And that was, it's crazy back then. And I get that now, like, that amount of money is not the same amount of money. But
It's still a lot.
all the folks from Big Bang Theory are getting $1 million an episode.
They
And
still have
that's
2
for the next
seasons
3 years.
to go, yeah.
And then they can renegotiate again. And if they renegotiate and the show keeps going, it's going to make even more money. So they're making stupid amounts of money. The show's very popular. I don't know how. In the same way that I don't know how all these superhero movies are so popular.
Yeah.
But it is. But as soon as HBO announces this whole thing, they don't announce pricing. They don't announce what it's called. They don't anything.
They
Nothing.
don't even announce availability. It was literally just that we're
Yeah.
going to do it.
They're going to do a thing finally. And the next day,
Yeah.
CBS announces, hey, we're launching a streaming service. It's going to cost, what, $5.99?
$5.99 a month.
$5.99 a month for you to stream any CBS show.
It's available like what, the day after, I think, or is that count? Or are they doing the same thing as Hulu?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I haven't read up on it too much other than price.
I think it's the day after.
Yeah.
I think. But I mean, who
But
cares?
that's fine. I mean, we live in the world of DVR. Very few people watch shows when they come on.
Oh yeah, no. And like 65,000 different episodes of back catalog. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's crazy amount of stuff.
Craziness. And so here's the thing that I'm thinking. So HBO Go makes this announcement. Then the next day, CBS makes an announcement. I think what we're about to see, I'm calling it now. That way, if it happens, I'll be on the right side. But I'm calling it now. I think every major network is going to do this, and I think it's going to kill cable.
I think the only network that will not do it / will be the last to do it is going to be NBC.
Yeah.
Only because they're owned by Comcast.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only
They'd be
reason.
the last ones. I really do think, and it's going to take time. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow.
No.
But I think this is
It's definitely setting the stage for it. Though.
Yeah, this is
more than it has any other time.
I think this is the nail in the coffin for cable, unless cable makes a lot of changes.
Which they won't.
And so what's going to happen is cable is going to have to be competitive, because if I watch, I have Hulu right now, and most everything I can watch on Hulu. I can't watch CBS, but that's fixed now if I really wanted to. Which honestly, for me, I could see me getting the CBS service as long as Big Bang Theory is running, and then stopping it until the next season.
Yeah.
But if everything else stays on Hulu, then I can watch almost every show, the day after.
Mm-hmm.
They keep like 4 weeks on there most of the time at a time for a new show. So I don't need cable. And so what cable's going to have to do is they're going to have to be cheaper so that people will stay with them. Because if I can go pay $5.99 to CBS and $15 to HBO, if that's what it costs, and if I can pay, however much to Hulu, which right now I think is what, $7.99 or something. Might be more than that.
No, I think it's 9. I think it's
9. Whatever. I can pay. That's still cheaper than a cable package.
God, yeah.
So cable's going to have to get with the program and cost less, or people are going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's a really good time for that sort of thing. For HBO to do it, because HBO is a moneymaker, man. Like, they just...
Well, HBO is the one that's, like, closest tied to cable.
Right, which is why it took so long.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I'm super excited about that.
Well, I think HBO has probably done it. They haven't done it as fast as what I would like them to have done it, but I think they've done it in a smart way. The fact that they now have some pretty heavy hitters in programming. Game of Thrones is hugely popular.
It's true.
True Detective has been pretty popular for them.
I still haven't watched that.
I haven't either. I'm kind of doing it on purpose because I want to.
It's like binge it on a weekend.
Yeah, it's really the great thing about HBO.
Yeah.
Sometimes is the fact that I don't need 18 years to
Nope.
watch one season or something, and so
Yeah.
but I think they have some content to really back up.
For sure.
And
they got their back catalog too. There's you got The Sopranos.
Oh God, yeah. Just tons of great stuff.
Boardwalk Empire is still happening, but it's about to be over. But you got
Yeah.
Boardwalk Empire. It's got tons of great reviews. True Detective. You got Newsroom. They got so much stuff going for them.
And they're fixing to. David Fincher has a new series that's fixing to be on there, the Utopia
Oh yeah.
show, which I'm a huge David Fincher fan, so I'm looking forward to that. But
For sure. And then, speaking of shows, before we get into this, again, segues. Before we get into this, JBJ, I know you like to send an audio. This is one of our last things on the show notes, so you should probably send it our way if you got one coming our way this week. So we watch TV a lot.
Yes.
I realized the other day I have this, talk about a first world problem. All the shows I want to watch come on the same night. I don't have cable, so I'm watching them on Hulu. But still, it means I can't watch all these shows in one day.
no, yeah, I know.
But my wife and I are huge Law and Order SVU fans, and so we watch Law and Order SVU every week. That comes on Thursday night. We've also recently started How to Get Away with Murder. How to Get Away with Murder comes on Thursday night. We've also started watching. We watched New Girl. That's not started. We've been watching New Girl.
Right.
That's a Thursday night.
Yeah.
I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we recently started watching Blackish, and Blackish is a Thursday night comedy.
I thought it was Wednesday.
It might be Wednesday. You're right. It's Wednesday. It is.
I can't remember either because I watched it on TV.
Is it?
I think it is.
A to Z is Thursday, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is, there's a lot of Thursday night shows, and it means I gotta work really hard to watch the shows I want to watch. I will say, I think I gave up on Gotham. I think I did.
Yeah.
JB
Chang, it's good.
I
Good
wanna
timing.
like Gotham. I just don't think I do.
There's not enough there to keep me all that interested.
No. I agree. And in The Flash, like, I really don't. Here's the thing: I don't want to watch another CW show. I don't want to. I don't really like. I didn't really like Smallville. I don't think I'm gonna like Arrow. People say I'm going to. I don't want to watch those, and I think The Flash is going to be another. The CW superhero shows all feel the same to me.
Yeah.
And they're superheroes I already don't care about, so I just don't think I'm going to watch them.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think so. But show I'm in love with right now is freaking How to Get Away with Murder.
I know. You're
And
welcome.
It's so good. A couple weeks ago, we watched it. Was it after a podcast that we watched it?
Yeah, because I've been telling you about it.
Yeah, we sat down and we watched How to Get Away with Murder, and it's so good. And I'm not gonna give away things because I mean if you're not watching How to Get Away with Murder, you need to watch it tonight, like right now. As soon as you finish this, go watch How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah.
It's so good. Which is crazy because it's the chick that wrote Grey's Anatomy and Scandal, which I don't really love either of those shows.
No.
But this show, guys, is so good.
It really is.
And I can't wait. I'm an episode behind, and I can't wait. I gotta catch up.
No, you didn't miss it, JBJ.
No, you haven't missed John Hates. We're gonna do John Hates some other day.
Yeah.
So if you got to watch How to Get Away with Murder, and the thing is, it's good. It's getting good reviews. People are loving it. It's all over the place.
It's very like I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen something on TV that I generally like. Like I don't know like where it's going.
Yeah, week
like,
to
like,
week.
Like they flash enough that you like kind of like can maybe think you know, but then they throw something else at you that's not there.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
I don't know. It is kind of addicting. Actually.
It is really good. And kudos to the lady that writes that. I mean, she's rolling in money now. Because,
like Viola Davis is fantastic in it. I mean, like she's so good.
So good. She's good. And then one of the main characters is, I swear, it's Dean Thomas from Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So the guy that plays Dean Thomas, so the one black guy at Hogwarts, he's in it, and he's so good. Him and his long giraffe neck. His neck is so long. Yeah. He wears a lot of scarves. He does. I don't know if you noticed. The man wears a lot of scarves. He has to, because it's like that. But no, I mean he's good. The whole cast is good, really.
Yeah, they have really actually fantastic.
And then the lady that writes it just won all sorts of like brownie points with me. I don't know if you saw this, but a fan like tweeted at her.
I saw, yeah.
So a fan tweeted about her because there's a couple of gay sex scenes.
Right.
Which I mean it's cable and it's prime time, so I mean it's not like
it's not any different than any other scene.
We're not seeing any P and B's. It's not happening. We're just seeing, two dudes kissing and stuff. And
right.
I watch Game of Thrones and things like that. It's fine, whatever.
Right.
Do your thing. But this fan tweeted about it. They're like, oh, I can't stand all this gay sex. And she tweeted back. The first tweet, she tweeted twice. The first tweet was like, well, there isn't any gay sex. There just is some sex scenes. And then she was like, wrote back and like, if you can't distinguish between the two, then like, whatever, bye Felicia, which I loved because bye Felicia is one of my favorite things to say.
Right.
Me and my wife say it all the time, and to see a famous person say bye Felicia to someone that was like just tweeting rude things at them is just the best.
Yeah.
It's just the best. So good. So you need to watch How to Get Away with Murder. You also need to watch, and you need to watch, and in fact, like, I don't know if we got time after this or whatever, but you need to see Mulaney.
I know.
Mulaney is so good, guys. And here's the thing: if you like Seinfeld, you're gonna like Mulaney. It's a sitcom based around a stand-up comedian, and every episode starts with stand-up, and every episode has stand-up in the middle. And situations are based off of that stand-up. It's so good. John Mulaney has been one of the writers on SNL for forever. Nasim Pedrad has been on SNL for forever. Mm-hmm. She's on this. Martin Short is in it, and he is hilarious. And the guy who played Ross and Rachel's dad in Friends is also in it as like the next door neighbor. And he is so funny. The show is great. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I'm worried because it's on Fox, and that already scares me. Because Fox loves to cancel things that I love.
That's true.
And they just cut the episode order down from 16 to 13. And it's already on. It's on Sundays, which is like
It's kiss of death already.
put it on. Which I mean, to put it in perspective, like what's its face?
Walking
Simpsons
Dead.
comes on Sundays, right?
Yeah.
Family Guy comes on Sundays.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead comes on Sundays. Brooklyn Nine-Nine comes on Sundays now. Which, by the way, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is also really good. And I feel like Fox put it there to die. Because they put it between an episode of The Simpsons and Family Guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like Simpsons, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Family Guy, maybe Mulaney. I'm not sure if that order is right because I don't have cable. But you take two of your most popular shows and sandwich a brand new one, like you're asking for it.
Yeah.
I know their thinking is, we'll put it right by the popular shows and people will stay and watch it. But I don't think so. And I'm worried about if it is actually sandwiched between Simpsons and Family Guy, I'm worried what it'll do to Family Guy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I don't think Family Guy is going to go anywhere anytime soon.
No, I wouldn't think that it would.
But anyway, so watch Mulaney so they don't cancel it, please. I've already watched the first episode a couple of times, hoping that it counts.
I know, right?
I forgot to tell you this. And I'll say it on... So, my wife and I are now a Nielsen family.
Oh, God.
So, we get to, like... We haven't got it yet. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. But, like, they send us, like, a little diary, and we, like, keep a record of every show that we watch. And I'm super excited about it.
How in the world did you find out about that?
No, they just...
Oh, they, like, contacted
They sent a letter in the mail, and, like, Julie, like, she filled it out and sent it back to them.
That's
And
awesome.
so they like called us back and they're like, "Hey, we want to send you this diary and keep a record of what you watched and send it back." I'm like, "We don't have cable," and they're like, "Oh no, we need streaming and stuff too." And so,
Well, that's awesome.
I feel like maybe I have some say in what shows are
You're
going to
definitely
happen.
gonna put Mulaney.
I'm gonna put Mulaney on there, like
that's all we watch.
every
actually.
time we've watched the first 4 episodes of Mulaney 80 times. We're that excited about it.
So when I see Nielsen numbers in a few months, I'm like, God, Mulaney is shooting.
Mulaney is way up there. It's because of Josh. It's because of Josh.
Single-handedly.
Okay. I think JBJ sent us a thing. He did send us no. Yep, here it is. I found it. There's a lot of he has a lot of things happening here. There's a lot of orange. Okay, I'm gonna click this off real quick. We're gonna listen to this clip and then we'll talk about it.
Hello there, Dead Horse Beaters. This is JBJ Blaze, and I'm wondering which game you think is better for the Joystick Awards, because I'm trying to figure out which one is better, Shovel Knight or Pokemon X and Y for the 3DS. Sorry I was late. I was busy with Hive 365. Anyway, thanks for the great show, and bye-bye!
All right, a gaming question. So something for me to answer. So the question was which do I think is better? Shovel Knight or Pokemon XY? I haven't played Shovel Knight. A lot of people talk a lot of things really good about it, but I haven't played it. But I just can't imagine it being anywhere on the scale of Pokemon X and Y. If you're a Pokemon fan, Pokemon X and Y is like what you've been wanting. I mean,
I know nothing about Pokemon, but I know enough to know that that's been like a hugely popular.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's because, busted out the 3D for the first time. It worked really well. You got to see all your favorite Pokemon in, like, actual 3D models instead of 2D on the screen. They move around as they're fighting, so, I mean, it just looks better. Yeah, I mean, it's everything awesome about Pokemon amped up. And I think it's great. I think it was a little easy. It was a little on the easy side as far as the actual gameplay. But I don't think that was a detriment to it, honestly. I think it was something that made it very playable.
Mm-hmm.
I know in the past there's spots in other Pokemon games where I've been like, I don't care anymore. Why is this so hard?
Right.
And this game is not like that. So I think that where other Pokemon games kind of die in the middle, not die, but like they really slow down. They hit a point where it feels like you don't move forward for a while.
Mm-hmm.
This game never did that.
Right.
I was able to beat it very quickly, and I did think it was short. I agree, it was short, but I think it was short because it was easy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it was short because it was easy. I'm not sure because it's been a long time since I beat a Pokemon game because I get bored halfway through them a lot of times. And I've tried to do several on my channel where I played through Pokemon, and at some point I hit a point where I'm tired of grinding, and that's what it is. That's the part. I hit a point where I'm tired of grinding. I'm tired of walking around outside a city trying to level up my Pokemon so I can carry on. With X and Y, I very rarely did I have to do that. Because every time I got to a town, I was already like the level I needed to be. And so that made the game, I think, naturally progress faster, but I don't think the game was actually short. I haven't played Shovel Knight, though, so I really can't attest to that. Because it's just something I haven't played. And you haven't played either of them.
I have not.
You haven't played either of them.
Pokemon was not, I'm older, so it wasn't really a thing so much whenever I was growing up, I guess. I think I just kind of missed the cutoff date for Pokemon.
I don't know, man. I think if you played it now,
I'm sure I probably would.
Do you like collecting things?
Ish.
Like if I told you there's 600 of something in a game and you can collect them all?
I don't know. That might be just exhausting.
Oh man. So yeah, Pokemon. My vote is Pokemon just because I haven't played Shovel Knight, and I can't imagine something having. Because to me, Pokemon has a lot of replay value because you can go and collect and trade and fight with your friends, and so I think there's a lot of replay value there. And I haven't played Shovel Knight, so I can't say. Did you want to talk about this?
Oh, I just saw that it had been.
Oh, you hadn't seen it?
No.
So Jonathan just pulled up. He's got his iPad over here, and he just pulled out the Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Volume 1. So basically, the soundtrack for the first movie.
Right.
Well, the soundtrack of all the songs they use, not the the OST or whatever.
Right.
Is coming out on cassette tape. And here's what's lovely about it. My car is a piece of junk, but it still has a tape player, and so you can only get this at record stores.
Yeah.
And so you need to go to I think it's recordstoreday.com maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
Basically, if it's a record store that participates in Record Store Day, they will probably get it.
Yeah.
And so it looks like November 17th through December something, right?
Yeah, it's a Black Friday event. Looks like.
So I'm very excited about it. I'm gonna get it if I can because I can actually play it in my car.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And feel awesome, and it looks just like the tape in the movie.
What year is your car?
My car is a 2001.
Okay, so it doesn't make any sense. My car is a 99, and it totally just has a CD player.
Is yours not? It's not aftermarket.
Hmm.
Your CD player's not. Man, no. Mine has a. Oh, you know what? Here's what happened though. When I went to go buy my car, it had a 6 CD changer, and it was broken. And so I said, I'm not buying the car unless you get me a new stereo.
Okay.
And he said, the only stereo I can find has a tape player. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever, that's fine. So long, does it have a CD player too? And it does. So they were like, okay, well, we'll put that in there. So it's not the one that was in the car.
I know my car's older than yours, so.
But hey, that means I get to play. I get to play the Awesome Mix in my car on a cassette tape.
Very nice.
And it means I get to leave it in the car and it gets hot and messes up and does weird things, just like old times.
I'd say back in time.
I'm very excited. I might make a video about it. Like, honestly, I might make a video of me driving around in my car, listening to Awesome. Well, I can't do that because then it'll get flagged on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because those songs are all big songs. All right, guys. Well, that's the show this week.
Yep.
We will be here. In as much as I know, we will be here next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. If we're not, it will be because I got a new part-time job, and so if that gets in the way, which I'll talk more about in the future,
yeah.
But I don't know that it will yet. So unless anything changes, we'll be here. So
Yep.
I'm excited. You guys are awesome. And if you are watching on YouTube, you should be here next time. So Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Twitch.tv/HodgeJoshMC. Thanks to everybody that came out. And I think some people have straggled in. So as we go down the list, we got Tedinator, JBJ Blaze, Jeff6453, Mike Gherkin, Sparkman, Exian781. There's some other people that came through. Nathan Zapp came through earlier. Blah, 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 blah. Other people came through. And it was fun. And so thanks, guys, for coming by. And we will see you next time.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.